and I'm the principal of Orion Alternative Elementary School. And we are a K-5 elementary school here in the Redwood City School District. And Orion Alternative is home to two unique and innovative programs here in the Redwood City School District. We are home to our parent co-op model, where we partner with parents, as well as our Mandarin immersion program. And so both programs have very supportive parent community and are always ready to make decisions, partner with the school and school leadership to make best practices for our students. So I also happen to live in the neighborhood in this school. I walk to school every day, and I am very passionate about the success of the school, the kids, because the students are also my neighbors, and what happens at our school also happens within my neighborhood. My pronouns are she and her, and I am thrilled to be able to participate in this opportunity to be change makers and solutionary students and adults in our school, Orion Alternative. Just like our own global community, but then our local community, seeing the horrific changes that's happening to our climate, just as we are more aware of, as human beings, of our impact on the earth. It's been really the voices of the students who are the constant reminders that us as adults need to start making some changes. So for example, our students will come up to me saying, why do we waste so much milk? Or Mrs. Rivera, can we do something about all this cardboard that we're creating through either our projects or all this cardboard with our lunch? Why do we keep putting it in the trash? Mrs. Rivera, we should do something about, and then they fill in the blanks with things that, yeah, we should do something about it. Even my own children at home, Mom, we should be better. Why aren't we doing more composting? How come we don't have our own garden? So it's the voices of the kids who over time, it's like, yeah, we need to do something, and not feeling like, why are we waiting? Like, why? I don't need to wait. I don't need to wait anymore. What are we waiting for? And so it just really takes one small actionable item, like the kids saying something every day, and the kids willing to be next to me, picking up garbage, moving it to the recycling bin. So it hasn't been one small thing. It's been many children's voices over a period of time. Parents are our number one partner in wanting to have this experience at the school as an alternative school that wasn't just about textbooks and learning how to reach proficiency in reading, math, and writing. Honestly, I think all parents want their kids to have these rich experiences at school. It's their second home. So my families and I have been talking about reinvigorating our garden over the last couple of years, pre-pandemic and even through pandemic, to be not just a garden space where students are gardening for gardening's sake, but where students really had an opportunity to learn outside. And of course, the pandemic really brought this forward, where thinking about our campus as a different way for alternative and outdoor learning spaces. And so partnering with One Green Corner was a big help and an inspiration in re-looking at our outdoor spaces. And specifically, we have a garden space as not just a garden space, but redesigning it so that it's a classroom, it's a living classroom, and even expanding that into, now we've actually used more land and a secondary outdoor classroom. And actually, it's not even classrooms anymore. It's where are we going to learn outside, and increasing our mindset and thoughts about how these alternate spaces. Picnic tables are also classrooms. The hallways are places for kids to learn and collaborate. And so I think that has helped me to bring forward, change my mindset about where learning takes place, and then giving my staff the freedom to make those decisions about where they think the kids are going to learn best for different kinds of lessons and different kinds of learning. We talked about composting and green waste for a long time, but hadn't made the effort to make that change because it seemed too labor intensive. We didn't have the resources, but finally, actually, we're starting next week. We are starting our green waste program here at Orion. I think we're going to be the only school in the district who is going to, we're partnering with Recology and recruiting also families as they're able to come back onto campus in the pandemic to be able to help support green waste and composting on our site. And so we hadn't done that. We had talked about it, but the time's always right to do the right thing. So we're finally going to start just next week bringing green waste, and kids are already thinking about how they can take what their lunch contains, because now most kids eat at lunch, ate lunch on campus, where before that may not have been true. And looking at what's in their lunch and how their lunch can help contribute to excessive waste, and how their lunch could also support and contribute to reducing the amount of waste producing. So having those conversations with our kids and yeah, taking a little bit more action. So. All of our students are directly impacted by the efforts, because all students now have more opportunities to learn outside. So every classroom has the opportunity to learn outside, where before it was just maybe an occasional every other week, you're going to go to the garden and you're going to do this garden class and learn in a silo. And it was an extra, an addition. That's not the case anymore. The way that we approach learning outside is every class now does different things outside. Some of them are doing readers theater outside. Some of them are doing their engineering and making microbits and with their robots outside. And they gather all their maker materials and they bring them outside. And we have classrooms who are collaborating, older classes and younger classes, and doing things more outside. I think the pandemic helped bring that effort to be outside more, but now teachers really taking advantage of seeing that their kids are happy when they get to be outside, that their kids are like having 15 minutes of learning and a 10-minute break by running outside actually improves their stamina. So every student has an opportunity to take advantage of this kind of shifting mindset that we're having, that they're learning outside. In terms of equity, I know that families from higher incomes or have parents who have maybe a higher level of education are often the families that maybe are engaging in more recycling, have access to more outdoor space, have more access to recreation, compared to families who don't, and so don't have that opportunity to have a garden space, don't have the opportunity to think of outdoor space as learning, that maybe outdoor space is a place where either you work or it's a place where you're passing through, but not necessarily a place for learning. So I think it's kind of leveled that playing field of all students get that opportunity to be in a garden and learning outside. Like, who doesn't love to read a book outside? Across the levels, right? And oftentimes it is families who have more access and more opportunities, and students who don't, who maybe live in an apartment or share their dwelling space with multiple families. It's harder to find that outdoor space. There's less of it, especially when we've been enclosed for so long during the pandemic. And so I think that's given that, and when you talk about equity, it's like everybody can experience learning in a joyful way, or we're meant to be outside. in a position where I have more responsibility. It's kind of that the reason I think a lot of us go into education, it's that moral impetus, like I have this role which we can use for good to make change. And because I do have this leadership role, it is beholden to leaders to make the effort to make change, right? Change makers. And so yeah, it's our responsibility, not just our role. I think it has to be more local. Like what are the solutions to the problems, or the potential solutions to the problems that we know exist, whether we've created them ourselves or they are existing from generation after generation. So changing the way that we think, or modifying the way that we think, or how we approach challenges or problems, knowing that if we do nothing, nothing happens. Kind of what I talked about earlier is like, why not start now? And knowing that just doing something is solutionary thinking. That it could be one change is solutionary thinking. That we have that capacity. My students show it to me every day, that they have that capacity and that desire and that drive to do things in a better way that's better and more sustainable for our environment. They want to do it. They're asking for us to do it. So I think that's our role. That's our job. Find out who your allies are that want to do this kind of work with you, whether it is your parent group, whether it's any other staff members, if there's teachers, colleagues. Do you have any neighbors that are surround the school? So who are your allies and your colleagues that want to start this work with you and start the messaging with you? Having allies and having people that want to share the work with you makes the work more enjoyable. So that makes it more sustainable. Like if you are doing something with somebody that you enjoy doing it with, you are more likely to forge ahead rather than trying to do something on your own or by yourself. And that's my one piece of advice. And my second piece of advice, kind of what I said earlier, is just pick one thing that you feel passionate about or you want to do, and then make one small step. We're finalizing our garden. We've been doing it for months, and we're finalizing our outdoor learning spaces that are new and so when I say we, I mean families are coming along with our partner One Green Corner during the weekends to finalize getting these outdoor learning spaces that are going to be beautiful and exciting and to showcase that to the rest of our community, so that hopefully I want it to spread to other schools. I would love for my colleagues to be inspired and also do some of this work in their schools, and also for our students to be able to experience this new place that they've helped build. Like it's really so it's exciting to be part of something where you're building it, and then to finally get to use that outdoor space. So I'm really looking forward to that as a next step. And yeah, I'm looking forward to just this continued path we're on, because I can see the changes already happening, of kind of like I feel like I've gotten to a place where it's not me having to convince anybody or doing something or making contacts. I think it's rolled out to the community enough that like everybody's embracing it.